Hi, I'm Jennifer Neal, and although I've been involved in small business marketing for more than 25 years, I have become known as the launch engineer. And I also speak tech to entrepreneur, which means that I have the unique ability to understand all the jargon and jibbity jab that the developers and all the super tech people are talking and what that actually means to you as an entrepreneur. And it means that I can translate and help build that bridge. Now, I have actually developed websites from complete code back when HTML was the only way to do it. And I've done product photography. I've done plenty of online marketing, SEO, SEM, hired copywriters. I've worked with businesses. I know where you're at. And what that means is that I'm able to take all those lessons I've learned over the years and put them together into a system for success that I have developed, that I use with my clients, and I know you can use with yours. You see, one of the big things that I find with people is that when you get into the technology piece, people seem to get overwhelmed. And instead of getting those brilliant ideas that you have out and to the market and helping other people, you get stuck behind implementing the technology. So let's stop that path. I'm going to teach you my 6-step system for implementing successful technology for your next launch in 60 days or less. Now, here's the thing. I have done all this marketing for all these years and I know the rules, but I'm going to break them because I know your time is valuable and so is mine. And so I'm not going to do the same, here's what I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then here's what I told you. We're just going to go through it one time. You can rewind and watch this video all you want, as many times as you want. But for right now, we're just going to go through it one time. So pay attention, buckle up, because here we go. The 6-step system to implementing successful tech for your next launch in 60 days or less. Okay, the first step is actually just research. I know that you already have a great idea. Maybe you have 10 great ideas. Maybe it's time to find that idea on the bookshelf and dust it off and get it moving. Either way, you're going to want to look at how are you going to present it? What does it need to look and feel like? What have other people done? Get out there and talk to people. Join Facebook groups. Find out what people are doing. If you're in a mastermind group, ask people there. Get those ideas flowing, because if you develop this just in your own little silo as your own little business, it's not going to do as well as if you take advantage of the social proof and all of the learning that all of your other peers out there have done in their launches previously. So this is the time to take research, and this is where the project can actually take longer. And I typically recommend 1 to 3 weeks to really dig in, get those details so that you can truly picture exactly what this thing's going to look like and you know what your details are. That's really step 1. Okay, step 2 is mapping it out. This I actually recommend somewhere between weeks 3 and 4. And I use a system that I've kind of developed, and we call it technology road mapping. If you're interested in finding out more about how technology road mapping works and the specifics on how to make this work for your plan, check out our technology road mapping podcast, and you can find it at formuladone.com/technology road mapping. Okay, so really with your map, what you're going to do is get like super detailed, but don't let it overwhelm you because you're going to start with just the basics. So the basics are, you're going to have a launch and you want to sell something. So you're going to start mapping out that you're going to go to this target audience and you're going to talk to, these different audiences. You're going to have these different ads coming to different landing pages. Actually draw out your landing pages. Specify what the message overall is going to be. Like this one is talking to audience A and we're focusing on this benefit, et cetera, et cetera. So you want to like really map out, here's all of the different ways that you're going to be driving traffic. Don't forget about your current list, all the things that you're going to be doing. And then when they get into your funnel, what's going to happen? What happens if they get in before your launch actually starts? What communications are you going to be sending them? How are you going to kick off your launch? What information are you going to send them? Is it only going to be by email? Are you going to do a webinar? How are you going to promote your webinar? Are you going to include text messaging or Facebook messaging? what are all those little pieces? And this is like really and truly draw it out. I know I'm a total visual person, but it really helps to have a complete diagram of when somebody comes in from here, this is the path they're going to follow. And if we have their cell phone number, they're also going to get these text messages. And you can actually say on what day, what time, and what that message is going to be about. Just map the whole thing, because then you literally have a roadmap that you're going to follow for your launch, and one that you can use to have your team help you implement. So that's what we're going to get to next. Okay, step 3 is to create an asset list. And what you're going to do here is go through all of your pieces. And I said just put in the general idea of what you wanted to talk about. And so if your landing page is focusing on audience A and you're going to be focusing on this benefit B, what exactly is that? So you want to write out that you need an asset list. So you're going to need graphics that support that message, and you're going to need copy that supports that message. And how is it a long form? Is it a short form? What are you going to do there? When that landing page gets submitted, it goes to a thank you page. What happens on the thank you page? You're going to show a video? Then you need to have that video in as a list. Every single email and text message and everything that follows up, you want to have them numbered from your map, and you want to put them down on your asset list. What this is going to do is actually give you essentially a task list of being able to know exactly, okay, these are the pieces that I need to write, or these are the pieces that I need to have somebody design for me or write for me or tighten up, whatever your process may be. So that's it, asset list. Okay, step number 4 is to actually assign dates to all of your pieces. Now, some of them you've probably already put in key dates just because you know that this is when your cart's going to open and this is when it's going to close. But let's go through and actually assign dates out to everything. By this point in time, you should be somewhere in week 4 or 5 in your process and create it. So now you have, here's my map, here's how everything is going to flow. Here's my asset list, so I know everything that has to be created, and now we're going to put dates to it. So work backwards. I always work backwards. If you know your cart is going to open on this date, and you know that you need extra padding time to be able to put everything together and put your stuff in. Now here's my number 1 goal for, or tip for assigning dates, is always put in an extra week. And you may think, oh, that's an extra week that I can do this faster, which may be true, but what you really want to make sure that you're doing is allowing time for the rollover of things that change or things that don't quite go right, because we all know as great as you plan, it's probably going to happen, guaranteed. And you also want to use that extra padding week to test, because I implement technology for all of our customers, and I know even if we design something completely flawless, if we don't test it, something's going to break. And something's going to break on launch day, and it's going to be ugly. And you don't want that to happen. So always, here's your launch day, add an extra week. Allow that buffer time. Then work backwards from there. So you're going to know how much time that you need or how much time your team needs. And then keep in mind things like, okay, you want to be able to test this sequence by X date. That means the landing page, the follow-up emails, all those pieces have to be tied in together. So your landing page has to be done. Okay, so who's putting that together and how long do they need once they have graphics and copy? So then work backwards from there. The graphics person probably needs copy to be able to design exactly to what you're talking about. Okay, so how long does the graphics person need? So you're going to work backwards, put their deadline, and then how long does the copy person need? Work backwards and put their deadline. If you keep working backwards based off of all of these different assignments and going down your asset list, you'll know when it is that you need to start And if your start date is 2 weeks in the past, then you'll know you will need to go ahead and move your launch date forward. And unless you're up against something like a major holiday and you just can't, I suggest moving the launch date, because you have to have that time to be able to test and that extra squish time, because things just always end up getting done the last minute, even with a roadmap, I guarantee. But you have to have those dates and that map and everything to be able to have kind of a guideline to go from. So that is step number 4. Okay, step number 5 is kind of a funny step, and it's sort of done in tandem with step number 4, but I like to separate them, because this is what gets into the technology can be overwhelming and kind of a pain in the butt. And what I don't want is for the how of the implementation to slow up your creative process, because you've got some great ideas, and people that you've been talking to in your research phase and everything have great ideas. Don't let the tech part stop you. There's always a way past that. So this step number 5, is actually assigning what technologies you're going to be using for each of these different pieces. How are they going to connect together? Now, you already know the flow of how you want them to connect from your map. But now what we're going to talk about is, so like your landing page, is that going to be built in Leadpages, Unbounce, Aweber, Infusionsoft? What actually is that going to be built in? And then where does that information need to go? Is it going into ClickFunnels? Is it going into Infusionsoft? How does that piece connect and get the information where you need it so that they're in your funnel and they get your follow-ups? How in your follow-ups and during your launch, if somebody actually buys, how are you going to stop them getting the rest of the messages? You want to make sure that these are all of your technology pieces that are connected. And this is really easy. If you have an asset list and you have a map and you say, this is what I want to have happen, this is where the tech to entrepreneur works really, really well. So you can go find someone like me that can help you understand, in order for this launch and this funnel to flow the way that you want it to flow, these are the pieces that you should have in place. So it's going to fit with your technology you already have. It's going to add to your list, grow your database, and make your sales. That's really ultimately the point of what we're trying to do, right? So don't let this step overwhelm you. Reach out and get some help if you need. But this is really the part where you just want to decide, okay, how am I delivering this? If I'm doing text messaging, is it Infusionsoft with plus this? Are you using Fix Your Funnel? Are you going straight to Twilio? Like, you just really kind of want to define what your tech pieces are so that you know exactly how to hire that or how to implement it. Okay, and here we are, step number 6. This is the actual implementation. Now, here is what I fully recommend. Because we all can get caught up in our daily lives and this has to happen and I got to pick the kids up and I got to go to the dry cleaner and whatever ends up getting in the way, things can push and things don't get done. And then all of a sudden you are, 2 days from your launch and you're going, oh, great, I don't have this done. So you're trying to put it all together. That's when the testing time gets skipped, and that's when things can really go awry. So what I recommend is, in your map, in your timeline, when you're looking at your implementation time and you're saying, how long do I need here? Take the time. If you're doing the implementation or if you're working with a team or both, take the time to allow yourself to step out of your business. Don't plan on working. Don't plan on answering the phones. You're getting ready for a launch. Book out 3 to 5 days. And during that time, you are going to hardcore be working with your team, working with outsourcers, doing it yourself, maybe a combination of all those things. Maybe you're project managing all of this together. But if you take that time and really focus, and they already know what the details are, what the plans are, what the connection is. Like, they already have all the details, right? So maybe you've even already assigned out some of those pieces, but that's when you're starting to pull it all together. And you're getting the copy and the graphics from here and having it punched into this landing page, and then you're ready to go. that 3 to 5 days should also bump right up next to your testing time. So I said leave a week. If you haven't already rolled over into that week, use that week for your implementation and testing time. And if you're hardcore working on this, you can build it all. You can do the whole thing, guaranteed. Just dig in and don't be working on your business. Don't get distracted by everything that's happening. Just really, really focus, and it will get done so much faster. Because here you are, you're already at week 7. This is 7 weeks since you started back here, right? We're less than 60 days and you're ready to go. But you still have that padding time to test and make sure that things are right and then look how you want and all of that. Those tweaks and details can come after your hardcore intense time, but you just want to dig in and get it done, right? That's why I allow the extra time. And that's the way that you can actually get from 0 to done in less than 60 days. You have to have the plan. You have to take the time away and make it happen. And that's it. It's my 6-step system for successful tech of your next launch in 60 days or less. Just those simple steps, having a plan and sticking to it, can really take you from just an idea and concept to a successful launch. This is the exact same process that I use with my clients when we do these events. And I've done a ton of these events. Sometimes I go to Infusionsoft headquarters and I work at their events. Sometimes I do them here at my office in Boise. And this is the same process. And the way it's successful is having that plan. And if you notice, the actual implementation and actual tech time of that whole process is generally going to be less than, you have your intense week, and then you have other kind of testing and finish up and like pre-work. So you're going to be maybe 2-3 weeks. It's totally doable, especially if you're organized and you have a plan. Even if you're hiring other people or you're using your team. Having that plan, having that map, and all of your asset list makes it totally easy for people to jump in and get it done. Now, I mentioned that I have worked a lot of these events with Infusionsoft and here at my office in glamorous Boise. And that's where I've kind of developed this system. But I've also done this enough that I have seen a pattern. So I mentioned as part of my process is making sure that you're research and you're reaching out. And sometimes people are in mastermind groups and, they're digging out to find those answers and things. But the process, sometimes that research process can even take a year. If you're in a mastermind and you're developing all these awesome ideas and, 6 months, a year later, you're like, great, now it's time to go implement. Or I've seen people come to these events and we power through and we get through their idea and stuff. And at the end of it, if they haven't done a lot of the research beforehand to get that social proof and get those ideas from other people, at the end of it, they're like, well, what's going on over there? What are those people doing? What do other people do? I hear these questions all the time. It's, right? Hashtag FOMO, fear of missing out. It happens. It's a thing. And I've seen this pattern happen over and over. And I kind of really started realizing that it's a problem of kind of traditional marketing and the traditional digital marketing, which has been around so long. But here's the thing, we know things change. And I think it's time for these things to change because we're in these groups or we're in these masterminds to make connections and get awesome ideas and things, but then we can get stuck in that idea loop. And I've seen people do that and they're like, well, I just need to get this idea going, or this is going to be the thing that saves my business. But in the meantime, nothing's getting done. Your business isn't going to go anywhere if you're not implementing. Or on the flip side, you can be implementing tons of stuff and it may not be what your customers want or done in a way that's the most effective. And even though I love these accelerated events because you can really come in, dig in, and get so much done and see the power of stepping away from your business to work on your business instead of in your business. You can get so much accomplished. And I love the power of that, but I hate that kind of working in a silo and not connecting with other people. So that's why I always included the research phase into my process. But telling somebody to go out and talk with other groups of people and things like that, it works. It's awesome, right? But if you're not really there controlling the conversations, and I don't mean controlling in a way of, oh, you need to learn this and this, but a lot of times we can get cool ideas from other people when we're researching on our own and go down some rabbit hole, and then before you know it, we're talking about an idea that was completely 180 from where we started. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's what you need, but a lot of times it's more just a distraction taking you away from your main goal. And so I just spent a lot of time seeing people go through all of these things and still be frustrated at the end. And that's when it really hit me. Why are we separating these? Why not join the power of these two things together? An implementation and a mastermind. I have done just that. I'm launching this new program, and it's called Implemastering Your Business. And we are going to be combining the power of accelerated focused implementation with the power of masterminding and knowing that we are learning from other brilliant entrepreneurs and the things that they've done and being able to implement with social proof and knowing what works without testing it on our own dime, because we're all sharing those ideas together. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited because it's stepping outside the bounds of what everybody else has been doing. We're combining these two together. Why not? So the Implemastering program will be starting for the first lucky 10 people in August of this year. Why August? Because I want to make sure that if this is the program for you, you have a successful end to the 2017 year. Our program is a 3-month program. You're going to go through the first month and a half really digging in and getting to know the other people in the Implemastering program. We're going to be doing hot seats. We're going to be learning about your business. We're going to be totally developing out your ideas and figuring out what's the best approach for your next launch. What's your best message? How are we going to best talk to your audience? We're going to dig into all of these details together and really harness the power of that mastermind. And it's going to be seriously, intensely focused. Then in month 2, we step it up a notch. We actually get together live in person and we spend a full week together. And during that time, we're going to go on a great excursion and team building and be able to spend time with these people that we've developed these relationships with and continue talking about our ideas. And there's going to be a whole team of super awesome, smart people there. And they're going to help you with implementation of whatever software it is that you're running. If you're doing ClickFunnels, whatever you are doing, there's going to be people there to build that for you. So you're going to have your map, you're going to have everything ready to go, and we're going to get there, and these teams are going to go to work building your launch. So after that week, you're going to walk away and you're ready to push go. Yeah. So you're going to be launching your program in September. That can run through, you can even do a couple launch processes, because our follow-up after we get together, the whole 3rd month, we're looking at what worked, what didn't, what do we need to change, what do we need to tweak, what does the messaging need to adjust. We're going to make this whole thing just better for you, because if you're running an evergreen style launch, or if you're prepping for another launch Q1 of 2018, you're going to know, you're going to be totally ready. And you're going to have all this done before we get into Thanksgiving. And you all know, once we hit Halloween, the year's over. You're not getting any more launches out. You're not getting any more business, and you're not doing anything before Q1. So if you've already done your launch, imagine this. What ideas do you have that you wanted to get done in 2017? And what are the chances that you're actually going to get those done? If you could launch one of your ideas before the end of the year, how is that going to change your business? This program is 90 days of research, development, masterminding, really making those connections, and then digging in, implementing, getting everything done and built, and then testing, tweaking, and being ready to go again. That's it. When can you say that you can get your entire business, your next launch, 0 to completely done in 60 days with a guaranteed improvement session of 30 days after that? It's amazing. I love this idea of combining these two programs in the Implement Mastering program. I'm so excited to introduce it, and I want to see if this is the right fit for you. Because it is such a intensive and super creative and one-on-one time, this has to be a very limited program. So I'm opening it up, and I want to make sure that we have like up to 10 people that are successful by the end of the year, businesses that are ready to roll. And the only way to really know if that's you is honestly just to get on the phone, because there's so many variables that go in, right? And if we're going to be all working together, we got to make sure that we're the right fit and that we all are going to be able to talk each other's language, right? So I really, really want to invite you to have a chat with me if this is something that you're interested in. If you are thinking, oh, that's the way that I can get out of not getting my stuff done for 2017. If you keep thinking, okay, I've done the same thing over and over and over again, I keep beating my head against a wall, I'm not getting stuff done, I'm not getting stuff done right, this is a completely different system. Completely different. We're breaking the rules, right? We're merging these two things together, and it's going to work. We are going to harness the power of both of these and take your idea from concept to bottom line before the end of the year. It's pretty amazing, right? I'm so excited about it. So I've opened up my calendar. I'm allowing for consultations. I'd love to talk to you if this is something that you're interested in. This is really only, please, for people who are genuinely interested in getting your business to that next level, getting a success under your belt before the end of the year. If you're just kicking tires, you're just interested in ideas or free marketing advice, I mean, I'd love to help you, but I do also have a finite amount of time. So I want to make sure that you're genuinely interested and you think this might be the right fit for you. If it is, book some time. I've opened up 45-minute consult appointments. And while I do have an entire implementation team that works with me, I'll be the only one doing those calls. So if you don't find a time that works for you, please email us at supportformuladone. But look at my calendar, book some time, and be ready to get really, really personal about your business, because I'm going to ask some really deep driving questions, and let's see where you're at, and let's see which idea is going to take you through the Implement Mastering process and take you out to success before the end of the year. I am super excited to be introducing this Implement Mastering program, and if you think it's the right fit for you, book some time. If you have some questions, please comment, leave it on our Facebook page. We are totally open to helping anybody out in ways that we can. Let's get some ideas rolling. Let's find some people and let's make some success in 2017.